Well, hey everyone, it's Marcus, and welcome to more chatting in my jungle room. I am doing more Adelaide Fringe today. Just when you thought you'd had enough, I am back with more Adelaide Fringe with an incredible artist. He's going to be having his second year at Adelaide Fringe. I'm so excited to talk about it. Please welcome Troy Rogers. Troy, how are you?
Hey everyone, hey Marcus. I'm really good, a little bit tired, excited, and a little bit scared to be honest, because I've just left my job at the end of the year and I'm doing the whole full-time performer thing. And it's thrilling, but there's a bit of the unknown. So keen to be back in Adelaide at more central locations and do a lot more shows than I did last year
Yes.
and have a party with everyone. Happy Fringe.
Absolutely, because you know what? Now that you've got friends here, and people know your name in Adelaide, your world is just exploding over here. So yeah, good times ahead. Now, like pretty much any other artist that lives in Australia at the moment, you're all over in Perth doing the Perth Fringe. How's that going for you?
I just got to Perth. I got up at 4 a.m. in my home in Thora, and I've just settled in. I'm in this nice Airbnb on a beautiful street in East Perth. It's really nice old cottages. It's just a lovely street to be on. And I'm just trying to stay focused with sharing my story. So I'd love to get more people to attend my show. So wondering how I can do that. But I've got 11 shows here, mixed between the Leederville precinct and the Actors Hub. And doing this fringe circuit over the last 2 years, kind of been following artists around, not just following them on Instagram, but literally following them. I'm seeing them at Newcastle Fringe, at Sydney Fringe, Adelaide Fringe last year, Melbourne Fringe. So I'm hoping to connect with some artist friends that I've made along the way as well and see some of their shows.
Well, that sounds fun. Absolutely fun. And you know what? When you come back to Adelaide, which is not that far away, because what are we now? We're the 30th of January that we're doing this interview. I will have this out tomorrow, which will be literally the end of January. Then it's only literally a couple of weeks till you're here in Adelaide. That's going to be awesome fun. And like I said, now that you know your way around to Adelaide and you got your friends here and you've got your fan base here as well, your show is going to go nuts this year because, like you said, you've got it going even longer. Let's talk about the show. It's called Upside Down Fantasyland.
Mm.
And you know what? You weren't even happy with one venue. You've got three venues for the show. It's at the Jade, the studio at Holden Street Theatres. I love that space. And also the Cubby House at Arthur's Art House. But before we talk about the venues and the dates, talk to me about the show. Like, what are we expecting from the show this year?
Well, Upside Down Fantasyland is my life story. So for those that don't know, it's my autobiography and it's like combined with a theater piece. So I tell my story through poetry, song, and prose in a dramatic way to yeah, discuss some of the challenges I had when I was a kid and how I overcame them. So basically the themes are what it was like growing up with parents who were addicted to heroin and who had challenges with mental health. So me and my brother, when we were very young, we had experienced significant trauma, and I just wanted to share my story vulnerably on stage and let people know what it's like for the people like me and my bro, and hopefully inspire some people because I've turned out okay even after all of the shit that I went through. I had heroes in my life, and I made good decisions along the way. So audiences are definitely in for an intense and bumpy ride. I hope it's more thrilling than scary because I do come out. Um, like I said, my goal is to inspire people and to give them a greater sense of compassion, love, and empathy and hope. So I've been getting really good feedback around the show, and I want to keep doing it. Yeah,
Assumably, your brother has seen the show. Yeah.
he has seen it. He saw it for the first time in Melbourne when I was there in October for the Fringe.
And what was his feedback? What did he think of the show?
He's very proud, he felt the whole thing like an anvil. I remember he was in the front row and I locked eyes with him as I do with the audience because it's such an intimate show and I've found this strength and vulnerability, strength and courage that I kind of look people down the barrel and Calvin included, my brother included. and he looked back with this concentrated, intense look. Like even the moments of lightness and love, it was just such intensity. So I think it was really just washing over him completely. And obviously, I'm representing him in my one-man show as well. He lived a lot of these experiences with me. So potentially he had some things come up for him, no, undoubtedly. And I hope that he healed a bit as well, knowing that we've both come out stronger. And to see our life packaged in a 1 hour intense show, I think it was yeah, very rich for Kelvin, but yeah, also very healing, I hope. But we had a big hug and a big cry afterwards, and just a lot of love. The biggest thing that comes out of the show, one of the biggest things, is that I have a greater sense of love, and the audience have a greater sense of love too. So me and my brother just felt just really proud and stoked that we're both making good decisions. And you know, we've been to hell and back, and we've got some scars, but we've got some bright shiny armor along the way as well, and now we're just flying.
And to be able to talk about those scars is so important because, I mean,
Mm,
you've got them, whether you like it or not, you've got those scars. And, being able to talk about those scars helps other people as well, deal with their own scars. So, it's a beautiful, beautiful show. It really is. Going back
mm,
to the origination of the show, the conceptual period of the show, was that a
mm.
hard decision for you to make that you wanted to put your story on stage and be so vulnerable in front of people?
No, it was not a struggle whatsoever. I was in a very creative melting pot at home where I was doing some acting, some modeling, some poetry, writing, drawing, just really found my creative side again after a long time in the darkness. And it just started to click into place and roll on and roll on. And I wasn't like struggling to put it on the paper or to create this dynamic performance. It really did create itself with such ease and flow. Um, I think partly because it wasn't like I was facing this for the first time when I conceived this show. I've been facing this my whole life, you know, and this is just one of the forms of facing it. But I think you know, I wasn't a white belt in trauma healing when I was writing this. I was probably a brown belt, you know, on my way to a black belt. Just through other experiences I've had throughout my life, already feeling very solid and okay with my past experiences. But when it came to putting this show on, I just feel like I had a really strong foundation to be able to do it.
Did you find
It just
when
flowed.
writing the show, did you find that it brought up memories that you'd actually forgotten about? Do you just start recalling some situations or incidents that occurred during your life that you'd kind of like blocked out or you'd forgotten?
Definitely, definitely. There's key points that I knew of that I wanted to touch on. And when I started putting things on the keyboard, I was like, whoa, this is coming up and that's really relevant and that's really rich. So let's put that in. And Upside Down Fantasyland has probably had about 4 or 5 different versions where I've polished it, I've honed it, I've kept things as rich as possible for the storytelling to be as beautiful and potent as it can be. And part of that, you know, first, second, third, fourth, fifth versions was, yeah, things coming to the surface and memories coming up and deciding which ones that I think are more true to the theme and which ones are going to be more impactful for the audience and more healing ultimately for me. So yeah, it's been a bit of a wild ride, but like I said, I feel like I already had a lot of love with me to be able to look at that past and find the gold in it, which is essentially what the story is. Finding the gold in a dark place or the phoenix rising from the ashes, you know, it's really it is heavy, but it's a positive story, you know.
It truly is. As you know,
Yeah.
I saw it last year, and last year I did not know you as an artist or as a person, or I did not know you. And I saw the show, and I left in tears. Just but not just like not tears from just like certain sadness necessarily,
Mm.
but triumphant tears, and tears of just a joy that somebody was able to conquer, so many demons and so many scars and overcome those scars. And it was just such an incredible experience. And I have raved about it to all of my friends. And so I've got all of my friends coming this time round. And like you say, this is probably about the fourth slight maybe polishing up of the show. So from last year in Adelaide to this year in Adelaide, how has the show developed or transformed or altered in any way?
The script is pretty similar. I've just maybe added a poem and changed the wording slightly. The biggest thing is the lights. So I decided to add more intentional lights into the show over the last 12 months since leaving Adelaide. And these kind of elements are dependent on the venue. So what kind of lighting and sound rig that they have, but just using color and tone to bring the audience closer to the memories that I talk about.
Yep.
And also put a few sound effects in there as well, just once again to bring them a bit closer, just to amp up the drama a little bit, increase the richness and the potency of it. Yeah, so those are the big things, the sounds and the lighting states, which is really exciting.
And you know what? The co-star of the show is definitely the ukulele. The uke comes out, and there's some incredible songs that really brings all the stories, into a beautiful paragraph, essentially.
Mm.
So yeah, when did you discover that you could actually play the ukulele? How did that come into your act?
I started playing it 3 years ago for fun. I go into this a little bit in the show, but I basically knew I wanted to be an artist when I was a kid, and I got into a couple of musical instruments, the saxophone, the piano, and the guitar. But by the time I was a cool teenager, I was too scared to continue being an artist, so I dropped a lot of those musical instruments. But yeah, when I was 3 years ago, 29, I just picked up a ukulele in one of my friends' houses, and I just started playing it, and I had a really great time. It was fun to learn, easy to learn, and I actually started learning these songs before I wrote the show, and then they just serendipitously seemed to fit into the show, like the narrative of the show, like some of these well-known songs
You know what?
that enhance the memories. Mm,
I just want, like, literally, I want everybody to see the show because it's empowering.
mm,
It doesn't matter what your struggles have been in life. We've all had struggles. It doesn't matter what you've had to jump over, what you've had to swim through. I feel like it's a show that can empower anybody that's ever had to deal with anything in their life. I definitely encourage everyone to go out and get a ticket, 100%, hands down.
mm.
Now, on a side kind of swerve, I mean, you're a very accomplished actor. I mean, you do a lot of musicals. Yeah, I mean, just recently you've been doing Legally Blonde as well. So, talk us about some of the other shows that you've been involved in over the course of 2025.
Yeah, I did three musicals last year, and I just had my fourth last month. So in January of 2025, I was in The Hunchback of Notre Dame just before I came to Adelaide. And then I got cast in Monty Python's Spamalot and I got to play Sir Lancelot, a really ridiculous,
Yeah.
ridiculously fun character. After that, I yeah, set my sights on Legally Blonde, and that was the third one for 2025. And I got to play the UPS man Carl, and they put me in some short
Short
brown
shorts.
shorts and the
Yeah.
whole delivery guy uniform, and I had a package. and and the musical I just completed in Coffs Harbour in January is called Threads, and it's written by a friend of mine called Jade Naidu, and it's a brand new original musical that's just debuted. She got a few grants to write, produce this, and she's written the music herself and the story. And that was a really beautiful experience to bring a character to life for the very first time. It's kind of like it's really special to be able to say that. And no matter how far this musical goes, I always have this special place with those three characters that I played because I embodied them for the first time, which is just amazing. So I played It was a rainforest fantasy based in Waterfall Way in Coffs Harbour. So one of the characters I played was a eucalyptus tree, like a Gen Z
Uh-huh.
eucalyptus tree. The other one was a flying fox based on Russell Crowe because he lives in the area. So we it's kind of um, a little name drop for our public figure. And then the other guy I played was Average Joe, who he was the main character I played, who was he was kind of the antagonist in the rainforest, who wasn't aware of this beautiful family of trees, and he was just, going to work, getting paid, and fortunately doing some logging while he was at it.
Well, you know
Yeah,
what,
it's been beautiful.
nothing about you is average Joe in any way at all. You are a beautifully talented human being. You're an exceptional storyteller, and more importantly, you're a beautiful, beautiful human that actually cares about the world and other people. So credit to you, and it's a
Mm.
pleasure to see you do your creative work, and it's a pleasure to know you. Keep on doing what you got to do. Everybody, make sure you get out and see Upside Down Fantasyland. I'm going to tell you right now. So the Jade runs from the 20th of February to the 13th of March. The studio at Holden Street Theatres is from the 21st of February to the 15th of March. And the Cubby House at Arthur's Art House is 26th of February to 3rd of March. Obviously not during every single one of those dates, but there's a
Mm.
good selection of dates for everyone to get along to. So make sure you get your tickets, everybody, because like seriously, Troy Rogers is an incredible soul and an amazing talent. Troy, I wish you all the best with your second Adelaide Fringe. And can there be many more, please?
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like this story, people ask me if you've done it enough yet. I'm like, I feel like I'm just getting started. So bring on more Adelaide Fringe, bring on more Fringe around the world so I can share my story and bring a bit of hope and love into the world.
Unstoppable. I
Mm.
That's what you are. You're unstoppable. You're gonna, go out of your way to spread more joy and spread more positivity into the world and more hope in the world. Hey, last question for you as we go out. Adelaide Fringe, what does it mean to you as an artist?
Earlier in this interview, I was remembering something, and because it can feel like a lot of work to put on a show, it can feel like a huge effort trying to get the show out there, rehearsing, writing the thing, producing the thing. And I just remembered what I'm doing. I'm going to a party. I'm going to a massive month-long party with other beautiful people that are sharing their own stories. So I just need to keep remembering that. So Adelaide for me is fun, and it's a party where I get to go and experience not just presenting my story, but going to go see other amazing shows from all sorts of different genres as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, party time. That's what Adelaide means to me.
Well, Troy Rogers, I cannot wait to see you in Adelaide in just a short couple of weeks, and
Yeah.
cannot wait to see your show again. Um, Cheers to you, my friend, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Marcus. It's so beautiful to be able to call you my friend. I'll see you in Adelaide.